and Joe Duffy. Fight of the night, JoJo Calderwood and Courtney Casey. Each fighter wins US $50,000. Let's open it up for fighter questions.
Joe, if I can actually start with you. Quickly before we get to the fighters, an update on the search for a new head out here. What's going on with that, and when do you think we'll see somebody in place?
Yeah, we're being pretty patient. You know, we're obviously looking at candidates internally and externally. Should have something figured out in the next few months, but you know, this office is very seasoned professional staff. They've been in place for a few years. You know, this office runs itself. You saw, you know, the work tonight. You know, Dublin's going to be extremely successful in a couple months. So we're taking our time, but should have something to announce in a few months.
Sounds good. It sounds like Dublin will be it for Europe for 2015. Is that the case? And if so, do you have any dates or locations that people can look forward to in 2016?
Yeah, you know, we're going through our global calendar process right now for 2016, so it's still early. We are on track for an event in London in the first quarter of 2016. That's probably all we can announce now, so hopefully we have some dates in the next month or so to announce.
Fantastic. Thanks, Joe.
Yep.
Mike, if I could just for you, obviously congratulations on the victory this evening. Can we start with the toe? What exactly happened? When did it happen? Update us there.
It's nice that you go out there and you put on a hard-fought 5-round fight. I know people want to talk about it as a toe. Yeah, just the skin on the bottom of my toe came off, I think, at the end of the first or some point in the second round. Just an annoying injury, basically. Every step that I took was painful, but you know, what are you going to do? You're in an ultimate fight, you know, it's a mixed martial arts fight, people trying to knock each other out. I'm not going to complain because I've got a sore big toe.
It started out real well for you, moving real well despite the toe,
Yep.
and then he cracked you a little bit in the third. I'm just curious, you know, first of all, is it nice to be able to take a punch like that when people are always talking about your chin? And second, did that change anything at all in how you had to approach things?
Yeah, you know, I mean, I definitely felt I was in control of the fight, and as you say, he did connect in the third round with a decent shot. You know, he was swinging big, solid punches. For the most part, I saw them coming. As you say, he did connect in the third. I've always been confident in my chin. You know, I've been in there with the best punches in the world, you know. Yeah, I've been clipped a couple of times, but, you know, it's, you know, I fight in the UFC and I fight the best guys in the world. So, yeah, you know, Talis is great on the floor, but he's a big, strong, solid guy, and he can pack a punch.
When you heard the split scores, I'm curious what the feeling was at that moment.
Yeah, no, I disagree with that, to be honest. I mean, Talis is very, very tough, and you know, he was a game opponent, and all credit to him. But I kind of thought it was 4 rounds to 1, to be honest. So I was a little shocked at that.
And just lastly for you, Mike, obviously you named off the very best in the division and said you're ready for all of them. The top 2 were tied up in a title fight, but you know, there are Jacare,
Yep.
Romero could possibly happen. Do you prefer one of those? And would Dublin be a possibility? You said how much fun you had fighting over here in Europe.
Oh man, I'd love to fight in Dublin, of course. You know, regarding the top 10, as you say, it's full of killers, simple as that. You know, it's a very, very tough time to get that belt, but you know, it's now or never. I'm not getting any younger. If I can get another win, another top 10 win against another guy later in the year, then I think I've earned my title shot. I mean, I've been around here forever. You know, I look out here now, apart from yourself and 1 or 2 others, I don't recognize any of you guys because I've been here that long, fighting the best in the world for so long. It's about time I got my goddamn fucking title shot.
Question for Stevie. Stevie, in the octagon, you called out Dana White and said, let's have a bonus, changing my life. You've got your bonus. Tell us just how much that money's going to mean to you and just what it's going to do to change your life.
Yeah, it's just going to be amazing. I mean, this still feels all surreal to me. It feels like a dream. It doesn't even feel like I've been in there and fought. I don't know. I just feel overwhelmed with it. And yeah, I've never really had much money in my life, so it's going to really change it.
And a quick one for Rab on the end. Rab, I spoke to you probably about a year or so ago. You were getting ready to fight Dennis Seaver, and you told me at that time that even your local newspaper weren't that interested in giving you any coverage. And here you are now, you know, one of the stars of the night, jumping the cage, jumping in the crowd, and getting a reception like you did. Just how much does this mean from where you were when you first jumped into the UFC to where you are right now, sitting on this top table?
I mean, it's priceless, you know, and Monday morning will probably still not be in my local paper. That's just my luck. But yeah, I mean, it was a fantastic night. The Scottish support were there. I came out to the national anthem, you know, you couldn't get any better than I knocked the guy out in the first round too. If you'd made a movie, that's the way it would have been down, right?
You know, my local paper never used to cover me, and they're begging for an interview now, mate, so don't worry, it'll change.
So I should play it cool.
Ethan from MMA DK. I have a question for Evan Dunham. Evan, we spoke prior to the fight, right here. Yeah. Did you feel people counting you out up to this fight against Ross Pearson, or what were their thoughts going into this fight?
Yeah, you know, going up to the fight, I thought a lot of people were kind of underestimating me, and you know, I saw a big hole in his game, you know, and like any battle, you see a weakness in your enemy and you take advantage of it. So that's exactly what I did tonight. You know, he's got tough hands, strong, tough guy. So, but I knew I could beat him in the wrestling and the ground game, and so that's what I did.
And I have another question for the UFC. UFC is broadcasted on Channel 8 in Denmark. But a company just bought Channel 8 and they have brought down the channel. So the fans in Denmark, usually they can watch UFC on UFC Fight Pass, but the events are like the event in San Diego with Mir and Duffy, that was blackouted on UFC Fight Pass. So some comments on it from the UFC?
Yeah, we're working through that now. I don't have an update for you, but you know, we'll have an update shortly.
Message for Joanne. Congratulations on the win and your bonus as well. Were you worried at all going into this fight, obviously with your change of opponent, and especially considering how the fight went for you last time with someone relatively unknown?
Yeah, I think that's just part of the game though, and you have to get on with it. You know, it's MMA and a lot of people pull out, whether it's the last week or like 3 weeks before, so it's just part of the game and you just have to keep your head strong and get on with it. And as for the coming off a loss, then I just kept it in the past and tried to move on and stay strong, and the fans and the event here being in Scotland really helped, so yeah, just need to stay strong.
Seeing the other guys coming off of their wins, did that motivate you?
Yeah, very much so, and I seen it was the first round and stuff, and I was like, fuck, I need to go out there and do it in the first 10 seconds, but you know, that goes through your head, but at the end of the day I just need to get the win as well, so that was the most important thing.
And Bisping as well, how did that feel having your family in the cage with you at the end?
You know, excuse me, sorry. That's why I do it. You know, that's why I started doing this all these years ago. I mean, I love martial arts, and I've always done that since I was 8 years old, but I put my body through this to provide for my family. So, yeah, them being there at the end, very emotional for me. My son was in my corner. I gave him a hug before I went into the octagon. I nearly burst into tears there, so I had to hold it together. But yeah, of course, that's why I do it. That's why I make these sacrifices.
Joseph, congratulations on a sterling performance there. How much of a distraction is it when people actually interview you that they centre on the fact that you're the last person to beat Conor McGregor? And how much of it does it actually take away from a performance like tonight, which actually shows you are, you know, a solid performer?
Tell you the truth, I don't really concentrate too much on that. You know, I just go out and do my own thing, and you know, I know in time I'm going to keep putting in them performances, and people will, you know, they'll take note.
And Jojo, obviously, you know, coming out this evening, this was your coming out party. I mean, you know, in your hometown. Just talk us through the emotions. I could see you when you were actually walking out. It was almost like it wasn't an emotional walk for you, unless I got that and I read that wrong.
It was very emotional. I've had a tough 8 weeks and I don't want to cry and give everyone a sob story, but it was a tough camp and emotionally and everything, but I can't explain that feeling coming out, and the whole week I've been so excited, and it's just got me through the weight cut and the camp and being not really myself, so it's just helped, and I can't explain the feeling walking out there. I just felt as if this is where I want to be, and I'll never forget that feeling.
This is a question for Rob. Joe, Michael, and also Stevie. Tonight, in terms of well, you four specifically. I mean, tonight was very reminiscent of how loud the Irish were last year in Dublin. They were just cheering you guys on. It was deafening in there. Can you just explain, the four of you, what it was like to kind of hear them, chant you on and really get behind you while you guys were fighting?
I mean, walking out there, I was struggling to hold it together, and then as soon as I had the win, I was an emotional wreck. Jumped on top of the octagon. Before I knew it, I was in the crowd with the rest of my home support, so I can't really remember too much, but I know it was deafening, it was an experience I'll never forget. I'll take that to my grave. Thanks for the UFC for providing the stage for it,
I'd just like to thank all the fans and the support. They made the UFC come here, because if it wasn't for them, me, Rob and Stevie, we would still be fighting, but it was because the fans, and the UFC really listened to the fans, and eventually they came here. So thanks to UFC for eventually answering everyone's prayers, not just the fans but the fighters, and it's opening doors. And we, especially me, I'm training alongside the wee amateurs, and it just gives them goals and opens doors for them. So I'm so grateful to be part of it. So thanks.
Got a question for Stevie Ray here. Stevie, how are you? Well done, mate. Big win, obviously the biggest fight of your career so far to date. Bit nervy going into it today. How did you get over those nerves?
Yeah, I mean, every fight is basically the next biggest fight of my life. I'm always looking to go up the way, climb the ladder. Yeah, it was get to the UFC, and now, yeah, like I said, every fight's the biggest one of my life. Fighting in front of 10,000 Scots was nervous. Leading up to it, yeah, I was really nervous basically, but I feel that brings the best out in me.
Can you tell us what happened to your bike, coming off your bike?
I had that booked. I had been booked for a few months, so even before I had that fight, it was basically a day training on a motorcycle, and didn't expect to come flying off at 40 mile an hour. Yeah, it was raining, so I came off at 40 miles an hour, and I just remember coming down the road, falling off the bike because I had to harshly brake, and I just remember the thoughts going through my mind, I'm gonna die. I tried to stay on this side of the road. I was like slow motion because there was cars and cars on the other side of the road, and I'm sliding towards that side. But yeah, and then when I got up and I was okay, I just really thought, I was gutted. I thought that could have been me out the fight just because something stupid like that. I had a really good camp at TriStar, and then obviously Dinky Ninja's back here as well, but yeah, I was gutted.
Quick question for Mike as well. Mike, well done tonight, mate.
Thank you.
A couple of the guys in the top 10 above you would be rematches.
Yes.
Fair to say you up for that?
Yeah, of course. As a fighter, everybody wants to face the guys that have victories over them, especially guys that have victories for unfair reasons. They're all taking testosterone replacement therapy, they're all taking steroids, they're using the backsides like a dartboard, they're cheating scumbag motherfuckers. I would love to face them on a fair playing field, test them before the camp, during the camp, and on the night. But yes, of course, I would love a rematch. Does that answer your question?
Question for Joe. Much like when Conor came into the UFC, a lot of people thought because the European level is so good, you're better than a lot of the entry-level guys. Dustin Poirier last week said he'd love to fight in Dublin. I think guys like Dustin Poirier, Nate Diaz, Jorge Masvidal, you against any of those guys in Dublin would be great co-main or main event. I'd just like to get your thoughts on it.
Of course, that's what we're in the game for. We're here to fight the top guys in the world. So, whoever they put in front of me next, I can't wait to be there, and I'll be glad to be on that Dublin card, whoever it is.
And a lot of people actually asking this. If you do fight in Vegas, a man from Donegal, the hills of Donegal has got to be out there for one of your walkout songs.
100%.
And just two quick ones for the Scottish guys. For Joanne, do you think this has done enough to convince the UFC to make Scotland a regular stop on their European calendar?
I hope so, but at least it's opened doors for the next up-and-comer fighter, whoever. You know, it's just gave them opportunities, and just depends on the UFC. But I hope we've made enough noise. The three of us won, and we've showed the world that we can fight. So that was the plan.
And finally, for Rob, probably get lynched by the Irish fans for saying this, but Flora Scotland tonight, definitely rival Dublin for atmosphere, for noise, for emotion. Was that planned? Did you just think this would be such a cool thing to do it? What was the thought process for it, and how much more did it motivate you going into the fight hearing that?
Well, I've been fighting for a number of years now, and that was always a song I had in the back of my mind. You know, this all started in a small gym in Alloa. Some people thought I was crazy thinking about making it to the UFC, but it's the crazy people that makes a difference, right? And I always knew when I used that song, it would be for something special. And I used it to the highest advantage I could, and it was coming out in front of 11,000 Scottish crazy supporters, and it took the roof off the place like I said it would, you know. And that spurred me on tremendously. My coaches were yelling at cage side when I was getting in a battle with this guy to keep moving, keep technical, but I couldn't help myself, you know. I was just stuck in the moment, and I was wanting to perform for my countrymen, country girls, you know, and it was an amazing night. And by the way, coming from an Irishman, that's special. Saying that at Dublin, same.
Mike, there's many lovely pictures of your toe doing the rounds on social media at the moment. Has the doc had a look at it yet? What's wrong with it?
Well, no, it's completely fine. Just a bit of skin has come off, that's all. As good looking of a man that I am, I must say my feet are my worst feature. So it's nice to know that right now, regardless of the fight, I just put my neck on the line in a world-class fight, the photograph that's doing the rounds is my toe. So yeah, that's nice. Thanks, guys.
And just one follow-up. When I spoke to you in Montreal before the CV Dollaway fight, you said to me, perfect scenario is I beat CB and then I come back to my home country and I win there as well. What's the next progression of that perfect scenario for you?
Yeah, you know, I mean, I've just got to keep winning fights, you know. I mean, I've dedicated so much of my life to this sport, and I know I can compete with these guys, you know, and I've shown that, and that's why I'm still ranked in the top 10 after 10 years in the organisation. Pardon me. You know, it's one thing to get to the UFC, that's tough enough. To stay there, to stay competitive with the best in the world is another. So I'm not giving myself a pat on the back, but I'm saying, listen, I'm good enough. I know I can do this. I've got to obviously keep progressing, keep evolving. You know, I've got to continue to win. It's as simple as that. I'm still hungry. I'm as hungry now as what I was when I first signed with the UFC, when I first put a pair of mixed martial arts gloves on. I'm still hungry. I'll speak to Dana and the guys at the UFC. Hopefully I'll get another fight soon. If I win that, then hopefully, you know, I get what I feel I deserve.
Thanks.
Question for Joanne. How influential was it with the crowd in the fact that when Casey was landing those shots on you, that they were behind you, and did that add like a survival instinct to your game?
Yeah, like I say, like I was going into this fight and it wasn't, I know Beck pulled out, but it wasn't against Beck, it wasn't about Casey, it was more my demons, you know, because I just had to go out there and give it my all, and I'm glad she brought a fight, but no, she wasn't going to hurt me. The only person that could hurt me was myself if I didn't perform again, so and that didn't happen, so I'm happy.
And one for Evan Dunham. You know, you've had some ups and downs in your career, but you know, tonight you showed your ground game is absolutely brilliant. Do you feel that that's kind of showcased to the world that you're still a legitimate threat in this division?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I fought the best in the division, and I've always gone to stand-up wars with them. You know, and so now I've been reinventing myself this last year or so. You know, trying to fight my game plan, not necessarily just going out there and scrapping, but fighting a smart fight. That's what I've been trying to do this year, is be an intelligent fighter. You know, I've been in the UFC, you know, for over 6 years. This is my 15th fight, and it's about time that I start fighting smart. And that's what I did the last 2 fights and got wins, and I'll continue to do so.
I've got a question for Rab Whiteford. Rab, I know. Yeah. Oh, I thought I'm finished. Rab, I know you, Joe, and Stevie have obviously trained you together. I mean, given how much the three of you have been through together, could you just talk a bit about your relationship and how special it is that the three of you have all picked up massive wins on a huge UFC card in Scotland.
Yeah, I mean, before we made it to the UFC, you know, me and Joanne and Stevie were fighting on the local shows, sharing changing rooms and stuff like that, you know. So we've come up through the shows together, up through the divisions, and it was just a special moment for us. And I was just happy that I could lead by example in the first fight and take the guy out in dramatic fashion. And Stevie went out and outdone me a little bit, you know. He had the guy in chicken legs twice, and it was great to watch. And then Joanne went out and put a masterclass on, and got in a crazy fight, and you just couldn't ask for any better. And it'll be emotional for the three of us, you know. It was a great night.
We've seen the success that the SBG guys have had in the last year. We've seen their profile and success just skyrocket. I mean, how much, you know, how important would it be for the three of you to do the same thing and, you know, come here every 3-4 months and have a night like this?
That's exactly what I want, you know. I was fortunate enough to be the first guy to get signed to the UFC from Scotland, and then Joanne followed in Ultimate Fighter, and then Stevie over in Poland with a great debut. So I wanted to kick off the exact same. You know, you see how the Ireland's got behind their fighters over there. The whole country's behind those guys, and it's great for the sport. So I would like it to kick off exactly the same in Scotland. You never know, I might get in the local paper sooner.
Good stuff, cheers.
Question for Charles Ladies. Over here. Congrats on a great fight against Michael Bisping, first and foremost.
Thank you.
How are you feeling out after the fight with injuries in mind, and do you think you won the fight?
To be honest, you know, I was very upset with me. I committed a lot of mistakes, but, you know, he fought very well. He's usually to fight 5-minute rounds, you know, and it was my second time. He used pretty well the space inside the octagon, and it happens, man. It is what it is. That's what I say to my corners, to my trainer. It is what it is. Back home, training more, and come back stronger.
And no injuries?
No injuries, no nothing. Just you know, the face is okay.
Another question for Jojo. If you were to win your next fight, maybe you get the shot at Joanna Jędrzejczyk for the strawweight title. How do you see yourself matching up against her striking? And if it doesn't go according to plan on the striking department, do you think you have the wrestling and the jiu-jitsu to take the fight to the ground?
Yeah, if that fight happens, I don't think both of us will be taking it to the ground. Everyone, all the fans want to see that fight, and obviously, speaking for myself, I want to see that fight because she's put on a masterclass with other girls, so it's a fight that excites me. But at the same time, I've just lost and then just won tonight, so basically maybe another win or two. It's up to the UFC, but yeah, I would be excited for that fight, and it would be a stand-up war.
Thank you.
A question for Michael. The minute you said that you're open to rematches, you got members of the media already debating and asking, you know, who that would be. Some are saying Henderson, some are saying Belfort. Is there one rematch that you want that's top of the pile?
Well, obviously Henderson and Belfort are two that I'm definitely after. You know, I mean, if you look at Vito when I fought him, he looked like a cross between a powerlifting champion and the Incredible Hulk. When he stepped in against Chris Weidman, he looked like somebody's, you know, out of shape, middle-aged man, you know, like a dad that went to the gym once a week. So there's certainly two different people. I would love to smash his face in and shut him up once and for all and get the revenge. I have no respect for that guy whatsoever. I think he's a piece of shit, is what I think. And I'm not sure if I'm getting my message across on how I feel about him. Dan Henderson, he's another one, you know, God bless him, he's had a great career, but he was on testosterone replacement therapy when we fought, and the amount of testosterone that they're allowed to legally have in their system is just ridiculous, and there's a reason why it's been outlawed. And people, you know, used to say, oh, I have to have testosterone replacement therapy, otherwise I couldn't fight. You know, well, now it's banned and they're still fighting, so either they needed it or they didn't need it. Well, the fact is they didn't need it, okay? They were cheating, they were manipulating the system. So yeah, I would love a rematch with a pair of them. And of course, there's many guys. You know, the middleweight division now is very exciting. A lot of tough guys. My job is not easy. You know, it's certainly not. But you know, I'm here and I've got to go for it. As I said before, it's now or never. You know, so I'm not going to duck any opponents. I'll take whoever the UFC give me. But anybody that's ranked above me, I want to fight.
Thank you.
quick question for the UFC, if I can. We've been asking you for years and years, when are you coming to Scotland? When are you coming to Scotland? So I guess the question now is, when are you coming back to Scotland after tonight?
I can tell you after tonight's performance, it won't be too long. You know, I can't commit to anything for next year, but you know, I think everyone here had an amazing experience. The fans were amazing. Obviously, we had a very, very good ticket sales. The arena's beautiful. I think that was kind of the biggest inhibitor in the past, is not having a suitable arena. But obviously that problem's alleviated. So, you know, I don't know if it's going to be next year, 2017, but this is definitely going to be a stop on the calendar for this region.
Excellent. Stevie, wanted to ask you, I've obviously seen you fight in much smaller venues than this and heard the Stevie fucking Ray chant, and what was that like to hear that tonight in front of 11 or 10,000 Scottish people? It just must have blown your mind. It blew mine.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, you've seen my fights before. It's a sort of famous Scottish chant that all my fans passionately sing. And even when there's only 20 of them, it sounds like there's 1,000. So 10,000, I'm not sure how many were singing, but it was loud, and yeah, it was cool.
And just a very quick one each for Joanne and Rab. Rab, you've said a few times tonight, I'm not being able to get in your local paper and stuff like that. What a way to put, I mean, I've hinted this week about kind of building a fan base in Scotland. Surely you've got 10,000 fans right behind you now. After the fight, climbing the fence, getting into the crowd, that will surely be on highlight reels and stuff coming up. Surely now you're going to get the coverage that you and the sport in Scotland deserves.
Hopefully, you know, I've been working hard for this for years. Before we were fortunate enough to get the limelight, and all you guys here supporting us as well, not just the fans. You know, it's all about the press getting behind us as fighters. I lost my mind jumping over that octagon wall and into the crowd. I don't even know who it was I ran to, but I just ran at them, jumped in. And funnily enough, I turned around and I seen little Brad Pickett when I was coming back, and I was just an emotional wreck. I was sitting crying, you know. So maybe if jumping the octagon fence doesn't get me into the local paper, emotional wreck with Brad will, so one of the two will do it, right?
And the fact that you were in tears after the fight kind of showed a slightly different side to you. This week you've been, I mean, there was a bit of stuff going on Twitter about the whole fuck Conor McGregor thing and all that during the week. So to see you kind of being humble, I think showed a different side to you as well, and I'm not sure a lot of people expected that.
I mean, it's not, you guys see us going out there and putting a fight on, you know, but it's an emotional roller coaster from start to finish. A lot of things go into fight preparation, you know. It's not just getting your body ready, it's physically. I've been away from my girlfriend and my cat Ollie for 8 weeks, you know, so I miss those two dearly. My cat more than my girlfriend. She'll probably kill me for that, right enough, but you know, so I was living in a fighter house over an American top team with 3 Brazilians, you know, didn't even know how to use a can opener. So it's tough being away, you know, but then you come back home to something like this and it makes it all worth it. So I was just glad to get the victory.
And Joanne, finally, congratulations on a win. I think it's fair to say it's a win you needed. First of all, how hurt were you early on in the fight when she caught you inside the first 10 seconds?
Yeah, I was hurt, but I was never, you know, this is a fight, you're going to get hurt and you're going to take a punch, but you just need to stay calm and weather the storm, and everyone knows that I'm a slow starter, so it made it more exciting, I think.
And Rab mentioned emotional roller coaster. It certainly looked that leading up to this fight, it's been something like that for yourself. Where do you stand in regards to training now? I mean, the grip house, I take it, is that your home within the Dinky Ninjas now?
Yeah, I'll be like, I started off my camp at higher level, but halfway through now I'm just going to be at the grip house gym, and it's pretty sad, but it's just part of my journey, and I'm going to be at the grip house from full time now, so, but I'm going to go on a holiday on Monday thanks to the UFC now. It's well overdue.
Fortalis, because you did not use more your jiu-jitsu?
Actually, my game plan was fight on stand during the entire fight, and I tried a couple of times, but you know, he defends. Once I get it, take him down, but I couldn't keep him on the ground. You know, it's MMA, it's hard, it's not easy. It's really tough to take your opponent down, and especially keep him on the ground, you know. It happens, you know. Now he's back home, training more, see what his mistakes is, and back stronger.
Question for Joe Duffy. Joe, this time 18 months ago, you announced your return to mixed martial arts, and it's fair to say there was a lot of kind of speculation about how that return would pan out. You've come back with 4 stoppage victories. And just wondering, is that how you always saw it going, or did you ever doubt yourself, as in, when you announced your return, did you always see yourself storming into the UFC and making such progress?
I suppose, even since a teenager, I always see myself in the UFC. Coming back, I had them doubts. Obviously, you know, after spending a bit of time in boxing, you know, I wasn't sure how far I fell behind. You know, but I've been out in TriStar, and I feel like, you know, I'm making up the lost ground pretty quick. So, you know, I didn't think it would have turned out as well as it has, but, you know, I'm confident it's only going to get better.
And after a performance like tonight, is that making a statement for yourself to headline Dublin?
You know, that's a dream come true. You know, if I'm headlining Dublin, you know, that's the kind of fights I want to be in.
And just one quick question for Stevie Ray. Stevie, you've fought twice now in quick succession with 2 impressive victories. Is the plan now to maybe take some time off and improve, keep improving, or do you want to get back in there straight away? And would you target a fight outside Europe next, or does it make a difference where you fight?
Yeah, I mean, I only just made my debut in April. I'm now 2-0 with 2 stoppages, but I'm fit and healthy, so Dublin sounds good to me as well. May as well keep the ball rolling and maybe get on that Dublin card. Go 3-0 by the end of the year.
Question for Talis Laitis. Obviously this fight broke an 8-fight win streak for you. I'm just wondering where you feel you sit in the division now and what's next for you?
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know where in the division I am now, but all I know is that I'll be back stronger. Now is the time to, you know, take a break, see what I, you know, study all my mistakes, training more, and come back stronger. It's all I can do. It is what it is.
Thank you. And quickly, Mike, obviously you go and train in the States now, you train and live in the States. I'm just wondering, what are your thoughts on the current state of UK MMA?
Well, I mean, look at this. It's stronger than ever. We've got a lot of great, unbelievable talent up here that stole the show tonight. It was unbelievable. So I think the state of UK MMA right now is fantastic. The UK office are doing a great job. They're going to have a show in Dublin later in the year, and the sport's just getting bigger and bigger. You know, you need the localized time shows to build the sport, and that's what's happening. I mean, you know, a few years ago there was just myself up here, and now we've got all this great talent here, you know, putting on amazing fights, and it's just going to get better and better. I'm very proud to be a part of it.
Thank you. And finally, Stevie, we know Jojo's going to spend her bonus money on a holiday. What do you have planned for yours?
I've not even thought about it. It's still, I can't even believe I've been in there and fought and won, and feel like I'm dreaming. I'll figure it out tomorrow probably.
He's going to spend it on his 10 kids.
He can buy me a drink at the bar if he wants.
I go on holiday on Friday, so that was a good wee bonus.
To Rob, Jojo and Stevie, we saw the impact the UFC's debut in Ireland had on a lot of the fighters who are coming up now. How surreal is it to know that you're going to inspire a bunch of new Scottish fighters in the next few years, and they'll be saying, "Oh, Rob Whitewood was my inspiration, Jojo Calderwood was my inspiration." How cool is that for you guys?
That's super cool, you know. Like, who would have thought? Me growing up, I came from a small mining village in West Lothian, Falthouse, you know, and I was a bit of tearaway as a kid, and now I'm looking at people calling me a role model and an inspiration to do great things, and if people's going to use my name in that respect, it's a great feeling, you know. It's very honourable.
I just want to thank the guys that I'm training with, because it's the other training partners this is a team, you know. They have to be there for you, for your sparring partners to be there, and these guys, they're all amateurs and they're all up and comers, so it's just good that they're training with me, so maybe they can see, or maybe one day that could be me. So yeah, just onwards and upwards, hopefully, for Scottish MMA.
And yeah, I mean, there's plenty of guys at the higher level MMA where I train in Whitburn. Some of them kick my ass, so I think that's enough for them to see us free, being in the UFC and getting wins. And like I said, some of them give me trouble in the gym and beat me up some rounds. So there's going to be a lot more guys on the roster, I think, in the next couple of years.
Hi, Stevie, that's what I tried to tell him earlier on. For a small country, we can fight.
We'll take 2 more questions.
Question for Joseph Duffy. First of all, congrats on your great win. With the fallout of Jose Aldo, you tweeted about replacing Jose Aldo against Conor McGregor, and moreover, Firas Zahabi said last time that you were maybe dropping down to featherweight. What's the plan? Are you staying at lightweight, or do you want to jump down to featherweight?
No, I'm going to stay at 155. I'm pretty comfortable here, and you know, I feel like I can improve my nutrition a bit and my conditioning a little bit. So you know, I think this weight is perfect for me.
Thanks.
One final question. All right, thanks everyone. Have a good night. Great night. Thank you.